All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for some real people out there just like you, just like me. All right, today is Top 20 Day. I told you I was going to do the Top 20 for the year 2022. These are melodic rock albums that I liked this year. Doesn't mean they're the best. They're just albums that I liked a lot, and some folks appreciate those suggestions. I'm going to do a few honorable mentions. I know a lot of people don't like me talking about new music. Well, intro a video and I'll feature a CD, but a lot of people have thanked me as well and said, hey, thanks for turning me on to, whatever it was that I was promoting on that given day. For the record, I don't work for anybody. Nobody's paying me to promote this music. I just do it because I am trying to keep this genre afloat. And I can't do it single-handedly. There are a lot of people out there working very hard day in and day out to keep the new music spirit alive and well. All right, honorable mentions. This is a big honorable mention because I got the vinyl on this. This is Treat, and it's called The End Game. Okay, and superb classic band from Sweden. These guys have been around for quite some time, and they put out some amazing music, and they continued to do that this year. This is The End Game by Treat. Some interesting lyrical themes on there. It's just great melodic rock. So check Treat out when you have a chance. Jeff Scott Soto, honorable mention to him. The album's called Complicated, probably one of his strongest efforts to date. Really enjoyed this album. And there are several songs that I played a lot during the year. You make these compilation discs and then you go listen to the music, in your car or whatever. And this album, really, I played a lot during the year. All right. So those are two honorable mentions that I have as physical product. If you see any other albums in the shot behind me, those are kind of honorable mentions. Keep in mind, I'm not doing yacht rock. I'm not doing the West Coast stuff. I would have to invent yet another top 10 or something for that and go through all of those. There are a lot of great albums that came out in that particular genre this year. A couple of other honorable mentions. The band Street Lore from Italy put out a debut album that is really phenomenal. It's just called Street Lore. An artist who is known as Satin, Satin, put out an album called Appetition. His real name, by the way, is Tommy Nilsson. Just phenomenal record. And I'll be honest with you, both of those albums, the Street Lore album and the Satin album, because of distribution issues and overall lack of promotion and exposure for both of those albums, that influences what I choose for my top 20. The Satin album could have easily been in there, and maybe even the Street Lore album, but both of those are fantastic if you like just really big hooks and big choruses and grand production. Street Lore and Satin. All right, so let's get going with the top 20 because this video will end up being way too long. At number 20 on the list, this is Fortune and their album Level Ground. This came out in the spring. This is a veteran band that rebooted their brand a few years back. Really phenomenal. Doesn't sound like anybody else. Just doesn't. You try to put it in a category, maybe has some foreigner tendencies, but nope, doesn't sound like anything else. Fortune, Level Ground. All right, I'm tossing these aside. Hopefully I'm not going to cause any issues. All right, Lionville, So Close to Heaven, number 19. Superb production, Toto-ish qualities. So yeah, it leans a little toward the West Coast, but it's a bit more up-tempo. It is really good. Lionville, one more time, So Close to Heaven. All right. At number 18, House of Lords, Saints and Sinners. This is an established brand that continues to put out great music. You could argue that this is one of the best start to finish albums of this year. Just fantastic. House of Lords. James Christian, I believe, is a mastermind behind House of Lords. Really phenomenal. 2019. I'm going to have to try to keep track of where I'm at here. That was number 18. All right. Number 17 is 13 by the band FM. They come in at number 17. These guys really can't do anything wrong when they put out albums. They're just superb. Steve Overland and the crew here at FM, just fantastic. This is what rock radio used to sound like in the 80s. This isn't glam rock. It's not hair metal. It's just rock, and it's really good. 13 by the band FM. All right. At number 16, John Elefante and the Amazing Grace. Kind of a late entry, thanks to my friend John in Australia. And one John promoting another John. John Elefante is a genius, okay? Just putting it out there. He's just a musical genius, and this album won't disappoint. If you're a Kansas fan, but you like more modern melodic rock and a few twists and turns, just super well written and produced. The Amazing Grace, and also some very good lyrical themes from John Elefante, who comes in at, what, number 16, I believe? I'm going to mess this up, I know. Grand at number 15, their self-titled debut album, another great band from Sweden. This leans a little more pop than some of the other stuff, but I like a little variety. So check out Grand. Big hooks, big choruses. The singer can break glass. Just really good singing and great playing and production from Grand. All right. At number 14, we've got Black Swan. And this is Generation Mind, Robin McCauley. This thing is just loaded. It's just loaded. It's more hard rocking, more bluesy. I don't know. Robin McCauley is kind of a freak of nature because he just sounds like he's always sounded. So there's a singer that can replace any singer. Robin McCauley right there. Just superb album. All right. At number 13, I think I'm at 13 now. August Zadra, or as we like to just call him, Zadra. This is Guiding Star. This is phenomenal. This is Dennis DeYoung's lead guitar player, in case you didn't know that. And body double for Tommy Shaw, maybe. Some people say that. Kind of sounds a little like Tommy. But this is a great work because he has established himself as a songwriter, an arranger, and a smart all-around guy. And a great interview, by the way, I had with August earlier this year when this came out. All right. So I think we're at number 12. Yep, number 12 is Perfect Plan. And this thing is fantastic. Brace for Impact. I've got all three of their albums. If you like Foreigner, Whitesnake, that kind of sound, maybe a little bit of Journey in there, but not much. Perfect Plan, Brace for Impact. Kent Hilly, one of the great singers, just period, right now. Just, I don't know who's better than Kent Hilly. And I'm totally serious about that. All right, at number 11, if I skipped a number, I think I'm back where I'm supposed to be here. Sunstorm, Brothers in Arms, just amazing album from start to finish. Alessandro Del Vecchio proving that he can write and play, and Ronnie Romero singing, and what could go wrong here? Pretty much not a whole lot. Good songwriting. There's even a tune on here. It sounds like Vandenberg. Anytime someone tries to sound like Vandenberg, I'm okay with it. So Sunstorm, Brothers in Arms at number 10. No, at 11, sorry. At number 10, City of Lights, Before the Sun Sets. This is kind of a sentimental favorite. The music itself on this leans a little towards Whitesnake. The lyrics, though, are really important on this record. Doing the things that you can do before it's too late. Hanging out with the people that you care about. This thing rocks, though. It's not like Barry Manilow, all right? This thing really kind of leans into it. The singer also sang for another project called Odyssey Desperado. And this is almost like a bookend to that album. It's called Before the Sun Sets. And it comes in at number 10. There you go. Starting my top 10. At number 9, Crossing Rubicon, Perfect Storm. Now, this is more like Journey. If you're a Journey fan, you're going to find some Journey. You're going to find maybe some Styx on this, maybe some Survivor. Really great quality stuff from Crossing Rubicon. Lead vocalist is also the lead singer, current lead singer of The Babies. So that's pretty cool, right? That's at number 9. All right. At number 8, this thing could have been my number 1. I kept trying not to like this because I'm not really a prog guy. But this thing, if you like Saga or Yes or Rush, those 3 bands, this is Laylu Paint the Sky. Came out very early in 2022 with not a lot of fanfare or promotion. Progressive rock, like fresh and original and super well produced. The vocals are pristine. There's really no downside to Laylu Paint the Sky. That could have been my number 1. It's not my favorite musical category. So maybe that's why it didn't get to number 1, but it could be your number 1. And it would have been a dark horse choice, like, really, Dave? Laylu? And I would have said, yeah, because anyway, that's at number 8. So did really well. At number 7, another proggy kind of thing. This is 10, There Be Monsters. These guys just put out great music. If you've not listened to the band 10, you should. Gary Hughes is the mastermind. The production on this is like, Pink Floyd or something. It's just so rich, big, and even if you don't like the melodies and where they go and all that kind of stuff, you've got to just do a hat tip to these guys, because the production here is really a throwback. I think they may do analog to digital type recording, but don't quote me on that. It's just really amazing. 10 is the name of the band. There Be Monsters. Notice how all these album covers are really cool. I tend to like good album covers, so that's why I buy stuff. I don't know how much longer I can buy this stuff, though. At number 6 is Hydra, Point Break. I promoted the crap out of this album this year, and I really enjoy this somewhat Toto-esque music, you could say, somewhat, from Sweden. Again, one song on here reminds me of The Final Countdown or something like that by Europe. It's got a Europe flavor to it, but then the rest of it sounds more like Toto. Not necessarily married to one style, but definitely a little on the lighter side compared to this list. But I had a lot of patrons thank me for turning them on to Hydra, Point Break. Fantastic. All right, we're in the top 5 now. And Cats in Space, Kickstart the Sun, Queen, Cheap Trick, ELO. This thing is this could easily be everyone's number 1. Just super well produced, and it's the degree of difficulty for this kind of music is very high, and these guys go over that bar. I could see like Jeff Lynne or Robin Zander hanging out with these guys and going, yeah, okay, you guys maybe should open up for us, right? Cats in Space, Kickstart the Sun, phenomenal. All right, some Queen in here if you like Queen. ELO, Cheap Trick. Wow. All right, and number 4, and she topped my list a couple of years ago with her second album. Her first album, sorry. This is her second album. It's called Power Zone. This is the beautiful and talented Ches Kane. Her videos are creating quite a stir. Go watch some Ches Kane videos, right? Anyway, the music, though, is excellent, right? Ches is nice on the eyes, but that's not the point here necessarily. She's kind of tapped into that whole Lita Ford, Vixen, a little bit of Cher, believe it or not, in her presentation. But this really delivers musically from start to finish. Just absolutely a brilliant album if you're a melodic rock fan. And say Vixen was still, I know they're kind of active, but say they were putting out new music, they might want to listen to this first and get inspired again, because Power Zone, phenomenal. That comes in at number 4. All right. At number 3 on the list, this is one of my dark horse favorites, Pearls and Flames. This is called Reliance. That's the name of the album. And again, it comes out of the remnant of a band called Coastland Ride. Now, yeah, it's more West Coast, but to me, this is just pure, very listenable AOR. And again, there's no downside to it. There are no bad songs on it. The vocals are unique. Everything about this band is fairly unique. Again, Pearls and Flames, the album's called Reliance. And this one cost me a few bucks to actually get a CD. But it was worth it because I have the CD. I really, really enjoy it. All right. We're getting down to the top 2 now. At number 2, Killer Kings. Oh, man. Burn for Love. This was written, produced, arranged by Alessandro Del Vecchio. I guess these are just great songs. I think that's the reason I like Killer Kings so much. And the songs stick in your head. The guitar work has kind of a Brian May thing going on, and they decided to use the Killer Kings, like Killer Queen, so people might remember the name of the band. The album's called Burn for Love. I had this on repeat play, I think, for the entire month of September. I just kept playing it, and I really never got tired of it. And I need to go back to it because I miss it. It's a friend. This is my second favorite album of the year 2022, featuring the great Gregory, I can't say his name, Gregory Lynn Hall on vocals. I should just say Greg Lynn Hall. It's easier. But Gregory sounds, more professional. It's like Dave versus David. Yeah, Dave is better. Anyway, check this out, courtesy of Frontiers Music, Killer Kings, Burn for Love. All right, and my number one album, I don't have a drum roll. If I did, I'd have Dean Castronovo play it. How's that? All right, this is it, folks. Never got knocked out of the number 1 spot. Sundown by the band Lone Rider. And is it derivative of Bad Company? Oh, you bet it is. And the problem with that is, well, Dave, we already have Bad Company. Well, where's Bad Company been lately? This gets at least 3 holy crap Batmans. The fact that they were able to do this, by the way, Simon Kirk plays drums. Steve Overland, who is also in the top 20 with his band FM, is at number 1 with Lone Rider. Song after song, it's derivative of Bad Company, and my response to that is, so what? So what? It is just phenomenal. And it's number 1 by a lot. Let me put it that way. As much as I like Power Zone and Killer Kings, which is different, Killer Kings is more of that traditional, we're going to be like Queen, Journey, Whitesnake kind of thing. This is definitely on its own. It's more bluesy, it's more classic rock sounding, but yet it's fresh too. So again, Sundown by Lone Rider came out, I think, back in June, and this was my summer album. This is the album I took to the beach with me, for crying out loud, and I literally did that. So, yeah, check it out. Number 1 for 2022. I want to give an honorable mention to Turkish Delight, which you can see the album over my shoulder right there. This thing, as far as a compilation album, technically is the best compilation album of 2022. I don't listen to a whole lot of compilation melodic rock albums, and I don't know if people put them out, but this is Turkish Delight, Khalil Turk from Escape Music, got all these great people together and recorded all of these great songs. And, you know, it's unfair because you can't make this number one overall because it's unfair. Now, the ironic thing is both the Lone Rider album and the Turkish Delight album are on Escape Music. So technically, Escape Music and Khalil Turk, they own number one in two different ways. So there you have it, my top 20. If I flubbed some of the numbers along the way, you get the drift of it. Street Lore, honorable mention. Satin, honorable mention. Tommy DiCarlo and his latest album. It's absolutely phenomenal from start to finish and could have been in my top 5. It got here kind of late. I didn't get into it as much. Maybe I'll put it on the list for next year as kind of like a sort of a carryover from the prior year. Typically, I like the albums to be released, you know, in that particular year in order for it to work. For those of you who don't like the new stuff, you know, I do this as a service to the melodic rock community. All of these albums coming out that are just going right under the radar. In the old days, you know, albums would go right to the discount bin. You know, today people aren't buying CDs anyway, so the albums are actually hard to find. There are no little cutout holes or anything after people kind of forget about them. Anyway, folks, I hope you enjoy some of this music, and I hope that in 2023 I can continue to do this. I don't know how much of this stuff I'm going to purchase. I'm probably going to just do maybe one per month and then do like a top 12 for the year. And I'm going to be maybe a little bit more selective. But a lot of what I purchased this year just, you know, is designed to be featured before I do a video on a different topic. Some people don't like that, like I said, but I'm probably going to continue to do that. Maybe a little less frequently than I do because people just want me to get to the point. Just like right now, they're like, hey, Dave, stop rambling. But anyway, folks, here's Khalil Turk's album again, Turkish Delight. Khalil is not the main singer. I mean, you got Jerome Mazza on this. You got Steve Overland, who's, again, on Lone Rider and FM. So Steve Overland, he's like the number one guy for 2022. He was probably the number one guy in 2021, too. But anyway, folks, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. And yes, I will see you soon.